Hey, Dr. Kurt Steele here. Hey, listen, if you're an independent practice owner like me and you're working long hours, you're doing evenings or weekends, and you're taking all the insurance plans and you're just seeing all the patients you can, and the bank account is just not reflecting it. I promise you, I get it. I lived in that world, for maybe 15 to 20 years of my 30-year career, but finally, after 30 years building a practice from $280,000 in revenue to $4 million in revenue, what I've discovered is that a great culture and a great team is the key. It's not chasing patients, it's not the hours you work. And to help you out, I have created a 3-day transformation guide. And on day one, what you're going to need is simply just some sticky notes and some pens. And day one's about discovery. And you're going to go to your team and you're going to sit them down and you're going to give them sticky notes. You're going to say, I want you guys to write down what we do well. And each idea gets its own sticky note. So if somebody has 6 things that they thought of that y'all do well, then they should have 6 sticky notes. And you give them 3 or 4 minutes to do that, and then you have them write it on. You have them go to the wall after they're done writing them, and your job as a facilitator is to line up the redundancies vertically. So they're on your on the far. I don't know if it's left or right. I'm getting reversed here, but if 5 people write down have a great family atmosphere, you should have 5 sticky notes lined vertically. And what you're going to say when that, and you're going to see 1 or 2 themes pop up, and you're going to say, okay, guys, these are our strengths. This is our foundation. This is what we're going to build upon. And today, let's really concentrate on that. Let's concentrate on what we do really well. Most office meetings and changes happen, and we talk about we criticize and we talk about what we do poorly. Watch them kind of light up a little bit when you concentrate on your strengths for a day. When's the last time you did that? So do that day one. So day one's discovery. Day two is partnership. Now on day two, you're going to need sticky notes, but you're also going to need sticky dots. These. And each team member gets 3. And you're going to ask what's perhaps the most important question you've ever asked in an office meeting. You're going to ask, what are we doing well? Or pardon me, you did that day one. You're going to say, what would make this a great place to work? What would keep you here even if somebody else offered you $1 more an hour? You would say, nope, I would rather make $1 less an hour and stay here. I've always run, first of all, as I travel this country, I love to do surveys of teams when I do an on site consult. And I will tell you that it's the same thing everywhere where they have a bad culture or they need work on their culture. And I wish I was heard more. I wish I could do more. I'd love to learn more. I have a lot of great ideas I'd love to share. Um, Me boss, you worker doesn't work in this scenario. And another thing is one of my favorite quotes, I don't remember where I saw it, is when people work when you're looking, that means they're afraid of you. When they work hard when you're not looking, that means they respect you. I want to make sure that my team is working hard when I'm not looking. I want them to respect me. And then you get them to respect you by involving them in your practice. And what your team wants usually does not cost you hardly any money, if any money at all. Now, what it might cost you is some control. You may have to give up some control of your practice, and you may have to swallow your pride a little bit. And maybe some of their ideas are better than some of your ideas. Which, by the way, your team, they're the ones that they spend more time with the patients than we do. I mean, they really know what's going on up there. When you give your team ownership of the practice, and they're truly a team with you, that is a lot more sustainable from a financial standpoint and from a mental health standpoint than being your office cop for 30 years. You got to stop being your office cop and you've got to be a teammate with your team and run that show together. So they're going to write down, again, give them sticky notes. What would make this a great place to work? 3 or 4 minutes. Each idea gets its own sticky note. You do the same thing, except this time they are not going to walk up and talk, so they can do this kind of anonymously. You're going to give them 3 or 4 minutes to write their individual ideas down. Then you're going to collect the sticky notes and you're going to stick them on the wall and you're going to read them out loud and let them vote on the redundancies. Now, sometimes one person will write down one idea nobody else would either write down or didn't think of, and everybody wishes they wrote down that idea. So when you get the redundancies lined up, let's say you have 5 vertical rows, which means there's 5 things to vote on. You tell the team, okay, you each get 3 dots. You can put one dot on three different things. You can, if you think one thing's really important, one thing's kind of important, you can put two dots on one thing and one dot on the second. Or if there's one thing up there you think that's it, that's what we need to do, put all three dots on there. And then you're going to let them do that. And something's going to have the most dots, and that's what you want to do right away if you can. But what you do is you take that information, and then you don't have any more discussion. You just look at them and say, guys, I hear you. I see what you're wanting. Just let me have a night to reflect on that. And you're going to go home, and here's what you want to try to do. There may just be one idea they all want, and you just want to implement that. But usually there's two or three things. And what you figure out is, what can I do tomorrow? What can I come back on day 3 and implement right away? What can I do in a week, and what can I do in a month? When you come back the next day and they said this is something we want changed, and you say, I'm changing this, I'm doing this, you have just transformed your office. They feel heard, they feel validated, and they feel like that what they say matters. And this is a great start to building that dream practice you're thinking of. So this is the foundation, the 3-day transformation guide. I have written a book, We're Not Selling, We're Winning. That is your complete blueprint to grow your $500,000, $1 million practice to a $3 million to $4 million practice. And this book will have every metric, every percentage. It's the exact framework I use to build this practice. The release date of the book is going to be February 23rd. Also, February 27th, I will be at Seco signing books, and we might even be giving some away. And download that transformation guide. Also, I do discovery calls. So if you want to, just do a discovery calls complimentary. We talk for about 30 minutes just to see if maybe we're a good fit. And I really look forward to helping a lot of independent practices build those dream practices and make sure independent optometry not only survives but thrives in the future. Thank you.